What is up, guys? Today Fortnite added the new cube sprite variant as well as the Puyo sprite to the general loot pool. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, comment down below what you think of these sprites, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything. It is EvolvedDrake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. And for starters, before we get into anything, I'm just going to say that's the changes for today. It's the cube sprites, it's the Puyo sprite, and then there's a minor kind of change that we're going to go over at the end of the video. But it's not like there's drastic gameplay changes today or any new items or anything like that. It's pretty much just the sprites. So the cube sprites give you the overdrive effect while in Storm. This boosts your movement speed when you have the overdrive effect, obviously, like the effect you get from using the overdrive nade. It will boost your movement speed, give you a kind of like floatier jump, which also amplifies movement effects, and then also give you infinite stamina. So if you are someone who likes hanging out in the storm for prolonged periods of time, this is probably going to be a variant of sprite that you really enjoy. I don't really know how frequently people are actually doing that, aside from like people hunting sprites or trying to master sprites. And in that case, I'm not sure the cube would actually be better than the holofoil. I think if I was going to be hunting for sprites or very concerned about sprites, I would still rather be using the holofoil sprite than the cube variant. But, you know, it really depends on you. Maybe you have a playstyle where you're often in Storm and that overdrive effect would actually be really helpful to you. The sprites that have a cube variant are going to be Batman, Earth, Fire, Dream, Punk, Fishy, Boss, and Grim. So not every sprite gets a cube variant, but that is the few that actually do. So it's not like they just added an absurd amount of sprites. I think if you are somebody who, you know, ends up playing in the Storm a lot, the Fishy cube sprite might actually be really good for you, because the Fishy sprite boosts your movement speed whenever you take damage. And if you're in the Storm, obviously you're taking damage, right? And then combine that with the overdrive effect that you get because it's a cube sprite and you're in Storm, meaning you would have overdrive effect constantly for a better movement speed, infinite stamina, and then also the Fishy sprite is giving you better movement speed as well. So the Fishy and the cube kind of combination, I think, would actually be the best for traveling around in the Storm if that is something that you are overly concerned about. But I think the gameplay effect of the cube sprite is very niche, and like very specific players would maybe find it helpful. And then of those, as I said, I think the people that would be most interested in this are going to be sprite hunters. And if you're a sprite hunter, the holofoil is probably just going to be the best anyway. So I don't really feel like there's a huge place for the cube sprites or like a huge like change here, but maybe some people will really like it. And then obviously if you end up fighting in the Storm for whatever reason, that overdrive effect might be all you need. But I think with like how the current loot pool plays and how much mobility there is, I don't think that like running around in Storm or getting out of Storm is really that common of a problem to the point where I would want to use a sprite variant specifically for that, you know. The Puyo sprite was also added to the general loot pool in this update. As I said previously, Puyo himself was giving this out on stream if you eliminated him. That's how they kind of like early released it, and then some people got it from eliminating people who got it from there, and then it just kind of like spreads over time. But now you should be able to get the Puyo sprite from the general means of looting sprites like chests, sprite chests, maybe floor loot as well. And what the Puyo sprite does is it makes you slowly regenerate shield for yourself and your teammates after you get an elimination. And what increases as the sprite increases in level is the duration of regen you get. So at level 1, it will be 6 seconds of regen, and at level 5, it will be 10 seconds of shield regen. I don't have the Puyo sprite yet, so I haven't been able to see how fast or how much shield you get, but I don't think this is actually going to be that absurd because, as you know, the description says it slowly regen shield, so I don't think it would actually be that much better than the demon sprite we have, which gives siphon. Maybe, you know, a little bit better in the end since it is over time, but I think it's kind of interesting that we have a siphon sprite which gives you immediate siphon in the demon, and then we also have this Puyo sprite which gives you shield over time after an elimination. I guess one, you know, benefit to this is that your team gets it as well, and so if you are someone who consistently plays squads, then the effect obviously is improved since everybody on the team can start regenerating their shield once you get an elimination. And if everybody on the team is using the Puyo sprite, you know, you guys can all contribute to each other getting shield back. And so maybe that is like a kind of interesting combo that can come about in squads if you have multiple people on the same team using this. I would imagine it just like increases the speed. But altogether, though, I don't think this Puyo sprite is going to be like the most meta changing sprite or like the best sprite. It's probably like B tier, A tier maybe, but I don't think it's going to be super impactful or super game changing. But for people who like collecting, obviously it's something else to go for. And the mythic or the Puyo sprite is going to be mythic rarity. And so those are the main changes for today. There was another minor change, and that is going to be that the lighthouse beacon, the chest search that you can kind of start with the lighthouse beacon, this was disabled because people found a way to get infinite loot by breaking the chest rather than opening it. And so because of that, the that lighthouse beacon chest search thing was disabled. So if you are someone who was kind of consistently landing at Calamari Canyon to go for that, it's not going to be working anymore. And that is why people found a bug with it. As typical Fortnite fashion, it will be disabled until probably the next update, which is going to be next week. This week wasn't an actual like major gameplay update. It was just releasing the sprites that were previously added. And then next week we will be getting another major update with downtime and all that. And that will actually be the final major update of this season. It's pretty surprising how quickly this season has kind of come and gone. I know it hasn't been everybody's favorite season, but I do feel like it has gone by pretty quick. But that is going to be it for today. Just some sprite variants added, basically. Let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments below. And if you guys did find this video to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. He's got a sniper, of course. What the hell, man? He's so weak. Yep, literally a bullet. That's crazy.